Good morning. Sometimes it feels as though it's just everything's going back to the future, really. Overnight we had Jackie Lambie, the Tasmanian Senator-elect for the Palmer United Party, coming out and suggesting, well, in rather strong terms, that we should look at going back to some sort of form of national service or conscription to solve some of our unemployment issues. She says if you have a look at the army these days and the roles that their armed forces require, a lot of them in the digital areas and in transport areas, we could actually reduce our unemployed numbers. It's not a suggestion that's ever going to be welcomed by our defence forces, particularly the army. You could almost hear the jaws dropping down there in Canberra or among the defence chiefs when they would have heard this suggestion, because they're the last people on the planet who want to be conscripting and introducing new members to the armed forces who frankly don't want to be there. In this day and age when you need highly skilled soldiers, the last people they want are people who are just shuffling along, signing up just to avoid the dole queue. But this points to probably a wider malaise, I think, that the Palmer United Party is actually going to have to confront over the coming months. And we're already seeing holes emerging in Clive Palmer's so-called vision for Australia. We don't really know what that vision really is. He keeps talking about it and talking about what a full-time politician he is, but there's no coherent sort of logical line that they're really showing. The big problem for Clive Palmer right now is that he is pulling together a pretty threadbare unit of senators. They're going to be very influential over the coming 3 years, and in fact Tony Abbott is going to have to negotiate his way through in the Senate with the Palmer United Party. Now, even though Clive is not in the Senate, he likes to behave and act as though he really is a senator in the upper house. He needs a role model, and the best role model he could turn to is a man who actually died yesterday at the age of 79, Brian Harradine, former Tasmanian independent senator. Harradine was an old school Catholic Labourite who grew up learning the trade through the union movement, became a member of the Labor Party, was famously expelled by the ALP in the mid-70s for falling into line with B.A. Santa Maria during one of those massive schisms that hit the Labor Party. But yet Senator Harradine emerged for almost 30 years as an independent senator whose voice could be trusted, whose vote could be trusted. You could argue the toss about some of his policies and where he stood on abortion and family planning issues. But when it got down to it, Harradine was really the gatekeeper of the Senate during those really formulative years of the Howard government. And yet he always made critical decisions in the interests of the nation. And so far, we are yet to see any grand vision, any sign of integrity coming out of the Palmer United Party. And that's what's really at stake now. We can talk about Jackie Lambie's comments about bringing back in national service, and that just won't happen. But what we really need is a sign from the Palmer United Party that they are here to govern for all, or help govern for all.